Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Riot Starts, a Hadestown-based TTRPG by Riley Rethal that focuses on community building and revolting against the oppressive capitalist hell of the underworld. As a reminder, as always, you can find this game and more at metagame.itch.io. And tonight is our finale, so for the last time, let's go around and introduce ourselves and our characters. My name is Zoe, my pronouns are they, she. I am playing Lorna, the canary, whose pronouns are she, her.
Hi everybody, I'm Elliot and I'm playing Rook, the Orphic. Mine and Rook's pronouns are they, them, and sometimes I do a he because it feels nice and cozy. I'm not ready for tonight, but we'll see what happens.
Hey everyone, I'm Raven Kennedy. I am playing Rowan Chandler, the Rebel. My pronouns are Z here. Rowans are he, they. Hoo boy, we sure are here, aren't we?
Hi guys, I'm Vin at VinVoxV8 and I'll be playing Jackal, they, them, who is the cheater, and I'm not worried at all.
Hi, I'm Rachel, Ms. Petty Dreadful Online, pronouns she, her. I'm playing Anya Lamb, pronouns also she, her. And, we're about to do a finale and I'm excited to be here with these great players.
As a reminder, our underworld is made up of hindrances, haves, and lacks that we all built together during the first episode. Our hindrances, we have the kind queen who convinces the workers they should not strike, a once revolutionary song co-opted long ago by your oppressors, and the sight of Elysium in the distance beckoning, and we've managed to incorporate all of them over the course of this. We lack public transport, we lack a safe space from violence, and we lack space to be alone. We have permission to be vulnerable with each other, and we have an ally at the top in the form of the Fate Clotho. Our dice, we have community dice and alienation dice. Those currently sit at 15 in the community dice pool, and 11 for the alienation dice pool. So it is close, but for now, community dice are winning out. So last time on the Riot Starts, the group decided to focus their time and resources on finishing the main part of the machine that could be used to get Rook back to the surface. Anya showed Rook exactly how the locomotive would work and how Rook would hide inside of it. Rook said they still hope to bring people with them. Anya told Rook she hopes they have a long time up top before coming back to them. The queen came down to inspect progress. Anya kept her from noticing anything out of place as she answered questions about how it would work. The queen then offended Anya by being dismissive of her. Rook made a deal with the queen that they would speed up progress in exchange for the queen bringing her favorite flowers down from the surface next time she was up there. Lorna met with Rowan and told him she wanted to do more to help with the negotiations to improve worker conditions, and Rowan accepted the offer. Lorna told Rowan she didn't understand why they fought so hard at first, but was starting to now. Jackal stole some alone time with Rook. They warned Rook to not get too attached. Rook told them they made a deal with the queen, and Jackal begged Rook to do less. Rook told Jackal they wanted to make things nicer before they left, but agreed to pull back to 80%. They hugged and shared a cute moment. Down on the line, Rowan asked Rook who they were taking first, Jackal or Lorna. This led to an argument where Jackal told Rook no one was leaving, and Rook said they loved both of them and wanted to take both of them. This also led to an argument between Jackal and Lorna. Rook and Lorna talked about Rook's plans on leaving, and Lorna asked them to stay a little longer. In the end, the machine was successfully finished, but the group is now splintered on where to go from here. While they wait for an opportunity, they decided to help Rowan with their efforts towards uplifting the workers and getting them talking about rebellion. Lorna brought Rook to the bar and told them her idea for getting their music on the jukebox. They talked about Rook's deal with the queen and if she seemed suspicious at all, but she still seemed to be playing it cool. They also talked about how hard it must be for the queen to go back and forth between here and the surface. Anya and Jackal broke into the bar to hack into the jukebox. Jackal complained to Anya how Rook was always giving 110% of themselves. Anya reminded Jackal that she was like that when she was alive, though not so much for other people, so she understands why Rook is the way they are. Jackal said they didn't plan to go with Rook. Anya confided that she's worried she's losing sight of the hard lessons she's learned. Rook and Anya met in the secret room to record 2 songs for the jukebox, a revolutionary song and the song they wrote for Lorna. Anya shared more about herself when she was alive with Rook and her interest in mechanics. Rook shared how they first got interested in music. Jackal and Lorna met up at the bar. Jackal apologized and told her they were coming from a place of concern and realism. Lorna told them she never believed she would actually be able to leave here. They talked about waiting for Rook to come back the right way. Jackal said it would be worth it in the end if needing some work, but Lorna disagreed. They argued, but Lorna agreed to think about what they said and told Jackal they needed to talk to Rook. Everyone gathered at the bar to see the effects of the music, except for Jackal, who was not told. Whoops. When the music came on, the bartender immediately disappeared behind a door. The revolutionary song noticeably sparked something in the workers at the bar, and the song for Lorna made her smile and sway dance like before. The bartender decided not to contact anyone and came back out, but eventually the foreman showed up with violent force and dispersed everyone. But the seeds of resistance had been planted. And with that, we have our next problem to tackle. So with 2 problems left to go before the end of the game, what do we want our next problem to be?
So I have thoughts of 2 ways. Like we have this like revolution route that we're going that's picking up steam. And then we also have the Rook needs to not be, Rook is alive and needs to not be here.
Right.
Probably. So that like we could tackle one now and another later. We could decide like one isn't interesting to us anymore and go a different route. But I don't know, what are everybody else's thoughts of like the
I think from a narrative standpoint, it stands to reason that getting Rook out would be the final thing.
Yeah, I
although that may
agree with that.
change
Agreed.
depending on how things go with whatever our first problem ends up being.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, Raven, does Rowan have any like revolutionary rebellion tasks or like things on a list that might be something to tackle for us here?
I think where things are at the moment with that is a lot of trying to pull enough information together so that it all comes together at once. So I don't know if someone has a specific that could lead into that, that would help, but I don't have anything in mind at the moment.
Maybe the next problem is forming an actual union.
Mm-hmm. Or if you want to tie this situation to the next one, we could have the quote unquote riot be the distraction to get Rook out.
So we try to actually start a revolution.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Start a riot? Is that something Rowan would try to do you think?
Not without knowing everyone was on his side first, I think. That's the big thing here is I don't think Rowan thinks at the moment that they have the like force, the manpower behind them to be able to make it all one big movement.
So do we want to maybe spend our scenes trying to like get people into this situation and then like the role determines whether or not, not whether or not the riot's successful, but whether it actually breaks out?
Yeah.
Or is that like too ambitious for like what Rowan is thinking?
I mean, I don't think there's really anything too ambitious about that because the whole getting my ass out of there should, agreed, definitely be the last part. But I do like the idea that however things go down influence how that's going. And what the plan of attack will be on that dramatically, it just sounds appropriate. So I am down for building that up to possibly happen.
I think we could also even say, because time passes, we're waiting on the queen to go back up to the surface before
Right.
we try to get Rook out. We established that before. We were successful with the last problem. We could easily say that time has passed and people have talked to a point where Rowan is comfortable with pushing towards a riot.
Sure.
Yeah. If you're okay with that, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So then our first problem of the night will be starting the riot. Does anyone have a scene in mind they want to frame around that problem for the first scene?
I think the first step would be Rowan gathering everyone in the little secret room. And, he kind of looks at everyone. So we've got a lot of people now. Like, a lot of people. And I mean, it's thanks to everyone, really, but I think it's time to go for something bigger. And I need help structuring it, I think. I'm good at the riling up. I'm not so good at the actual organization. So if I were to want to send a lot of people at the palace, how do you think we would do that?
I think you can't send them maybe with direction, but you could instigate something that would cause people to react violently rather than coordinating an attack. At the bar when we played Rook's music, it was people were moved, and when violence broke out, something was different. People didn't want to were more angry and less scared. So perhaps you stage something and we get a movement going that if we aren't going to take this anymore if something were to happen, and if the queen's gone, she can't keep people from
She can't placate people at the moment. She's
yes.
I can talk to my friend and see if they have a way to keep the king busy so he doesn't realize what's happening until it's too late.
This is good.
I certainly wouldn't say no. Anya,
Yes.
do you have a speaker setup, like an amplification setup that you could
We
rig
could-
or
Yeah, we could rig
something?
one pretty easily. Yeah, I think we could get something together.
Brooke,
Yeah.
how do you feel about a concert?
I feel many things about a concert and I'm so here for it.
Good. They're used to hearing the song now. I think with you backing me up, we can do a lot.
I'm down.
Are you sure that's the route you want to take? That is a little too dangerous, and if you get injured, we don't know if you hurt.
Have to find out.
Okay.
It's to help y'all. I don't mind.
It's better to do this all in one big move than it is to go at it piecemeal. I don't think we'll keep getting beaten back if we try to take small steps. We need to run.
just make sure that they don't get injured or too injured, at least, if things break bad. I mean, if things break really bad, we can just go for the locomotive immediately and get Rook out of here.
I can have that set up.
Oh, perfect.
But
Have that like right behind wherever we have that concert stage or wherever you want to do that, have it hidden.
yeah, I
I mean-
don't think we'll be able to get the whole stage set up before
No,
then. But
definitely not, but
Rowan, do you not want to, now that people are really listening to you, you don't want to have them be listening to you? Have them hear what you have to say for real?
oh no, absolutely. I just think it'll be easier to get everyone's attention if they hear the music.
Okay.
How long do you think it'll take you to rig something up?
A couple days.
All right.
Lorna, do you want to help with this?
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
this together?
Absolutely. I can help with that.
Okay. Then we'll get it together. And shortly after we'll have to do the concert because I think this will be a little harder to hide the pieces that we're taking.
Yeah.
So I have what, 2-3 days?
3 days, yeah. We can get some stuff together.
All right. Jackal, help me write a speech.
Sure. Something nice and impassioned, whatever.
I can talk off the cuff, but I think for this it's a little better to have an intended effect.
We'll hit you with some fancy buzzwords.
Sounds good.
We're really doing this, huh?
Yeah.
Goddamn well gonna try.
Oh, I wouldn't have helped if I knew this is where we were headed, but here we are.
We're roped in now.
So it seems.
Thank you, though. Seriously. All of
Nah,
you.
Think nothing of it.
exactly.
One way to do something, and we're doing it, and I'm here for it.
All right. I think we'll set it up at a shift change so that most people hear it. 3 days. Say the 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock shift.
Okay.
Got it.
Here we go.
And I think that's all I needed from that.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end the scene.
Yep.
Cool. Does anyone think they generated a die?
I think that was probably a lot of imposing my ideas on people.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
But that's definitely going in the community dice.
That makes sense. Does anyone else think they generated a die?
Did I creatively solve a problem with distraction idea, or should we wait on that and see if we actually get a machine? We get a machine built.
Find a creative solution to a problem. I think you found a creative solution to a problem here. I think that counts.
Means that's also definitely the community die.
Yeah. And with that in mind, does anyone think a die shifted because of a change or growth in relationship? Yeah, I don't think so either. Cool, cool, cool. Does anyone have an idea for the next scene?
We can do Lorna and Anya building a little speaker together,
Sure.
like a little amplification,
Yeah.
however we do it.
I like that.
Cool. Yeah, so I think this is also secret room. Other people can be there if they want, but this would be definitely Anya and Lorna. In my head, it's like very late at night.
Mhm.
And it's getting tired. Oh, okay. Are you sure you're okay with this plan? You seemed worried.
I mean, it's hard not to worry, right? A lot of things can go wrong, but we've come this far, right? I've honestly
Sure.
didn't think I'd ever find myself here, but things have
Neither
changed.
did I. Yeah. Yeah. Are you sure you're ready to say goodbye?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you ready to tell
She-
them that you can't go? Because that might be harder than goodbye.
And I think she like looks away from Anya at that and says, I don't know.
As you turn away, Anya, like very gentle but firm with like calloused hands, like grabs your cheek and turns a little bit and just kind of like holds the hand there.
Oh,
Whatever happens with this, it will be different here once they're gone, and not just because they're gone, but because of all of this other shit.
it's going to be different because they were here in the first place.
Yes.
Hopefully that's a good thing in the long run.
We can only hope. I have attempted to imagine how things could be worse, and I've actually been pretty successful at it, but that's my strong suit. So I hope you've had better luck imagining what comes next. And she'll like pat your cheek.
I think Lorna smiles a little bit and then frowns again, and she takes a moment and she says, did you know that Jackal came to talk to me a little bit ago?
Did they apologize? I told them to apologize to you. I said, too hard on Lorna. Need to go talk to her.
They did apologize.
Good.
I was not as receptive as maybe I should have been to that. But they apologized, but then they asked me to come with them to talk to Rook.
About what?
About not taking us, about being okay leaving on their own.
Okay. Well, there's always the fact that Rook will be back here eventually.
That's what Jackal said.
So, you can at least reassure them that it is so long and not a goodbye forever. Unless they've done anything wrong and you need it to be goodbye forever, we can work something out.
Lorna laughs at that and like shakes her head and says, no, they haven't done anything wrong.
Okay, good, because I will go tell anyone here to apologize to you.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I don't know. I guess I'm also imagining all of the ways that can go wrong when it ends up happening.
Well, when they tell you that things could be better or there is something to look forward to, I hope that you listen to those as well as all of the things in your head that could go wrong.
They tend not to tell me about things that could be better. Sometimes they do, but most of the time it's more doom and gloom.
Rook?
Rook?
Rook is doom and gloom?
No. Oh, I thought you were you
Oh,
said
the
you said in my head. Yeah.
miscommunication. No, I mean when when you are thinking of everything that could go wrong once Rook leaves, and Rook tells you, because they will, because they are very positive and nice.
Yeah.
Things, the way that things could be.
Yeah, I'm sure
In
Rook
spite
will,
of how they are. You can listen to those too, because sometimes those are just as true as all the bad things.
yeah, I'm sure Rook will be very positive in the face of everything they normally are. Although maybe not so much if they find out I'm not planning on going with them either.
Oh, yeah, it will be tough, but we are a strong girl. A quick learner. Steady on your feet. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Now hand me that.
Lorna like blinks for a second and says, "Oh, right," and picks up the wiring and hands it over to Anya.
Oh.
So this goes where exactly?
Okay, so it has to go, and you can't, and if you connect the red end to the blue ends, it will catch on fire.
Okay,
And Anya shows her arm where earlier she's fully burned herself.
Lorna grimaces and says, "Right, red wire and blue wire don't touch."
Not at all. Okay, and okay, get this there, and then I think that's a good way to fade out.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Do you think you generated a die?
We made a machine, so I did.
We did make a machine. Yeah, community die.
That's community. I was coming into the session. I'm gonna get alienation die. I'm gonna rack them up, and then I didn't.
Wow. Anya's being the team player. Add dice when you question the methods of those around you. I'm not sure if I did that or not. I don't think so. I don't think I went quite as hard in that direction at the very least. So I'll leave that alone. And I think their relationship is still about where it was last time.
Yeah, I think information was
pretty,
shared, or like moments were had, but it's still pretty positive of last time.
Yeah. Cool. So that is it for that scene. Does anyone have an idea for the next scene? I know what scene I want to frame. I'm just not sure when it should happen, because Lorna's probably going to go try to talk to Rook at some point before this all goes down.
Yeah, I'm pretty much waiting until either someone's going to break my heart when they want to do that, or my scene I'll probably build is probably after that.
Okay, well, we can do that scene next then.
Oh boy, I'm not ready.
Yeah. No, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's
Nothing
great.
like knowing about a breakup that's gonna happen.
Don't even worry about it. So I think Lorna asks Rook to meet her down at the I think it was a river where she
The
had that
little
scene with,
man-made lake.
Yeah, the little man-made lake where you can see Elysium.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. Love to break hearts with Inside of Elysium. Yeah, I think Lorna asks them to meet her there.
Okay.
And when Brooke gets there, I think Lorna's already there, just kind of staring out at Elysium.
Rook is gonna walk up over and just sit by the lake. I can't remember if I've been here, but God, it's so pretty in such a haunting way.
Yeah, it is really pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to come out here sometimes with something like that off in the distance, because it's like I told you before, it's something you want to be able to reach, but you know you're never actually going to.
Yeah. It's almost like a cruel joke down here.
Yeah.
Like it's right there. Right freaking there.
And I think Lorna moves to sit next to Rook. And she says, that's really the thing about this place, you know, there's a lot that seems like it could be possible, and you want it to be possible, you'd love for it to be possible, but you always know deep down that it's never actually going to happen. You've made your choices, the fates have done as the fates will, and there's not a lot you can do to change that.
Yeah. You don't mind me asking, how did you get down here?
It was a little more complicated than I think it has been for other people. I was told by voices, by the fates, actually. They've always spoken to me, they've always whispered in the back of my mind, and they told me that if I came here, I would find a better existence. And I believed them. And now I'm here, and I'll be honest, I don't remember much of what I was even running away from in the first place. This place just takes that from you. It takes a lot from you, and I think she like reaches to her neck like she's touching something that isn't there.
Rick puts an arm around her. Gives her a little side hug.
And Lorna rests her cheek on Rook as they do that. And then she says, I can't come with you.
I know. I know down that in my heart that I don't want that to be true. But God, I want to just I know I'll be back one day. I mean, I want to bring you so badly. I don't know if you feel where your heart is, but mine screams every time I see you. And I wish I could bring you with me, and I want that more than anything in the world, and I want to make that happen, but deep down I know that it was probably not possible. And I came here for Jackal, and I didn't come here for you and Jackal, and hell knows if Jackal's gonna even comply. I doubt he will. They will. But I want, God, I want so much, and being here, being surrounded by my own selfish actions, I'm not even supposed to be here, and I already feel like I should be here for that.
I think Lorna lifts her head off of Rook and just looks them like in the eyes and says, you don't deserve to be here. Sometimes I don't think anyone really deserves to be here, not the way it is, despite whatever we may have done. But you said you don't know where my heart sits, Rook. you coming here has made me feel almost alive again. Like I had completely given up, and anyone can tell you that. Anya, Rowan, Jackal, everyone knew it. I knew it. And then you came here and you sparked that in me.
Rook looks at them, smiles, and they go in for a kiss.
Oh. Lorna kisses Rook back.
Rook pulls back. Wait for me, okay?
I will.
I think that's a good place to end it
Yeah.
unless you want to say anything
No, that's
else.
good. That's good. I don't need to actually start crying.
Yep.
Dang. Cool. Cool. Great. Mm.
Anyone else smell the onions? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I got the onions too.
It's weird how we
Ah.
can see them all on Zoom
Yeah,
together.
We're
Amazing.
sense-aiding these onions right now,
I can't
Who
believe
did this?
Zoom
Why,
introduced
why would you do this to
smells.
us?
right?
God, okay, hey, do you think you generated a die?
I mean,
You kind of made a bargain.
I kind of did. I did say wait for me.
I buy it.
That is definitely a bargain of sorts.
Yeah. Do you think that was a community die or an alienation
Oh,
die?
that's an alienation die,
Yeah.
baby. Oh boy, that's alienation. That's selfish. That's not for everyone else. They don't care.
At dice, when you question the methods of those around you, I don't think I did that. But I do think there has been a shift in the relationship that is going to take a community die away and put one into my alienation dice.
Oops, sorry, y'all.
Sorry.
Oops, all horny. I mean,
Do you think you shifted one too? Okay. I'll take another community die away then.
got 3 alienation die. Let's go.
We're down to 10, 15. Back down to 16. We're still ahead of where we started. It's fine. It's probably fine. Who has an idea for the next scene?
Maybe it could be Rowan and Jackal writing a script, just brainstorming. They can be in just with a bunch of papers, pens, what have you, in the hiding spot. Is that cool, Reagan? Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jackal isn't that eloquent. They're more of an improv like Rowan themselves. So they're just like writing down things. They intentionally know that it is enticing. I know this is corny, but I'm thinking about like Squidward's speech. But
Is this
so
where I admit I've never seen?
oh well, it's okay. I'll show you later. Post game.
Okay.
Now, you want to start off, well, I won't say gentle, but you don't want to start right up at the top. You don't want big capital energy at the very beginning. You have to ease. Imagine like music. Just need a very, very decent crescendo into like forte fortissimo.
Right.
Get everybody's attention. List all your grievances, la da dee da, and then you start hitting with the action words, the punches, the good shit, the timpanis. I don't know why I'm stuck in musical terms, but
Hey, it seems to work.
Yeah, it's working.
hmm. I just don't want to fuck this up, you know?
Well, here's the best thing about it. If you do, you have fucking eternity.
Will I, though?
I think so. You might have the rest of forever to get this right. What's gonna happen? You double die? Go to the second hell? Maybe there's another hell. You'll be a trailblazer either way.
Hmm. I don't know about second hell, but who knows how deep that palace goes. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, again, me with the constant reassurance, if that doesn't work out, at least you won't be alone. I'm pretty sure we're going to be in the shitstorm together.
That's true.
So,
Yeah. I don't. Never got this far back on Earth.
really, gotta fool me.
Appreciate it. But it was always just me then. Having backup is new. Having momentum is new.
Well, you shouldn't waste it. Because, again, starting all over, we'll probably bite like shit.
Yeah.
And we won't have any music or whatever rooks and pull out of their ass to light the stick of dynamite.
Yeah. It'll only happen this way once. So.
Yeah, they're that special. I mean, the what you're doing is 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 very, yeah.
That's not at all what you said, Jackal.
It is what I said.
It's what you said just now, but it's not
Don't
what you
worry
said
about
before.
it. It's fine.
You know, sometimes I'm not fast enough with the jokes where it counts, and that's a little sad.
Luckily, there's nothing to worry about, and there's no jokes to be made. So, let's get back to this revolutionary, life-changing, hell-changing, death-saving. Fuck. Let's get back to work. They're just scribbling a little bit more furiously.
Rowan gives it a moment. Would you go with them?
You know, I've put a lot of thought into it. If I wasn't so concerned with what they do to me next, I'd give it a shot. But no trickster part of me just ain't ready to do it again. Maybe if I had a reset, maybe another decade or two, maybe a whole century. Time doesn't really do much here, but current me can't do it. And I know that's hard for them to understand, but you just gotta know they're gonna be back.
I think they do know. I just don't think they want to accept it. I think at the end of the
Stubborn as
day.
shit.
You're a good match.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a good spot.
Yeah.
Sure. Did either of you generate a die during that scene?
I don't think so. Like, I changed directions, but I didn't subvert a problem, essentially.
Okay.
Just regular dodgy, not die dodgy.
I mean, did you avoid a problem? Because that's also the option there. No? Okay. Rowan,
don't-
do you think?
I don't think I particularly I don't think that I necessarily quite fulfilled any of my dice conditions.
Okay.
More just was a nudge.
Sure. Do either of you think that a die has shifted because of a change in the relationship?
I think they're about the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I believe that leaves Rook and Anya for framing a scene. No?
No, I framed the first one.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry.
Did Rowan frame a scene?
Is it just Rook then? I think it's just Rook because Jackal framed that scene. Rowan framed the first scene. You framed the scene between Lorna and Anya. That's right.
Yeah, I wanted to go last, not just because my brain was empty, and but because it makes sense too. But yeah, no, I think that I need to have Rook and Jackal have a scene before it starts. So we'll probably go in the hidey hole, and I'll just be practicing. Now that I know I actually have a concert, I have to actually sound good again. So yeah, so Rip will be on whatever surface of couch, bed, whatnot, tuning their uke.
And Jackal's probably on the floor, just like watching them idly, not really making conversation, but just being there.
Weird. I didn't think I'd get here again and do this here. Like, the record was like a fluke, but actually, like, doing this, you haven't seen me do music and I don't even know how long.
The fact that you're here is still rather bewildering. Yeah, that's a safe word.
Yeah. It doesn't feel normal for me, and it shouldn't.
Really, bypassing the metaphysics and what have you of life and death, that's pretty mild.
You know. But in a way, I like I find this place like a home because this place does not feel like home, but
It's not supposed to, but go on.
not supposed to. But like when I'm with you, and I'm going to stop you there.
No, I want to stop you before you try to stop me.
It reminds me of home.
What in the Hallmark bullshit? You're disgusting. Just
yeah, that it's so disgusting. So disgusting. Your face is so red right now. It's hilarious.
That You son of a bitch.
Mhm. Wait, you like my mom? That's very mean. I'm gonna tell her when I go back up that you called her a
And she's
bitch.
going, you know, that brings up a really interesting question. What is time like? When you get back, will it still be the moment you left, or will it be longer? Oh my god. Mm. Don't tell her I said that. I do like your mom. God damn. She'd be heartbroken. She wouldn't believe you, first of all, but
Yeah, by the way, I saw Jackal, and Rick is already kind of accepting that they know that Jackal is going to fight them if any way, shape, or form, knowing that they're probably not coming back. And I think they've already accepted that, but I don't know if Jackal wants to have, they don't know if Jackal already is going to have that influential decision, like, yeah, you know, I'm not coming back yet.
Mhm.
So they're just making the assumption that they're going to be a hard ass. They're not really believing it yet. Just to tell you where Rook's brain is.
I think they're just on Jackal's end. Like I think neither of them want to have that like final conversation, and they're just like goofing off.
Yeah, definitely. Don't worry.
Aw.
I won't tell I won't tell mom. Don't worry.
Good. Somebody
She might
needs to
cry a
have her.
little.
Oh, don't want that. She was an ugly crier.
Yeah, I almost one time recorded her like being an ugly cry to have it as a part of a song, but then I realized might be bad taste and she might be pissed at me for that one. And then I'd have a scream track. But you know, also probably not a good idea.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking of a new album though. When I get back. And you got to tell me if it's good or bad. Okay, you ready?
By all means, please.
It's called In the Pink because you know Lorna has pink hair. Too much?
No, please be as ham-fisted as you want, because it has nothing to do with me, and unless you want an honest review, you'll have to break out a Ouija board or a medium or something for me to yell at you. Or I can save it for when, like, I don't know, you finally get back. Who knows how far along you'll be in? Maybe that'll just be a distant memory for both of us.
I'll make a CD, bring it along in my pocket at all times in case I die. So when my ghost clothes come in, I'll have it in my pocket. And I don't know if it'll be a physical CD, but it'll be there and it'll say that. But I'll probably have to hide that from Lorna. So yeah.
Okay, I think we've just cut the bullshit.
Yeah. You're not coming, are you?
I don't plan to. Look, I want you to live a full life. And I don't want me or Lerna to fuck that up. It's a grace that you made it here unscathed, and we need to do the same thing. So.
And I already know, I already talked with her and I know.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I tried.
You did. It was very stubborn, but valiant, given who I'm dealing with, and the fact that you're listening to me, I'm quite happy about.
Well, you did say go 80. This is my 80.
All right. Congrats. I'm so proud of your whopping B.
They grab Jackal's hand and squeeze it.
Yeah, they're like rearranging their hands so their fingers are interlaced right and tight, and they give it a gentle squeeze. Maybe I'll come up with something else. Maybe I'll have another plot. Maybe I will crawl to the surface myself. Just this needs to work out And for it to work, it needs to be just you.
True. I know. And they just like rest their head like on their shoulder.
Mhm.
I hate that it has to be like that.
And fortunately is what it is.
Yeah.
I do love you.
I love you too.
And I may not act like it, but this hurts an awful lot.
They lift their head and look at them in the eyes. No, I know. I know you. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We always do. This is just my stupid plan.
This you'll be here before you know it. Not to make this grave, but we all have an end.
We all do. And they put a little like a forehead kiss on Jekyll.
Mhm. And they they meet the just like the little a gentle headbutt. And when you come back, you'll be so fucking sick of me.
Oh, bet.
I promise.
Oh, want a bargain?
Listen, you're not getting one out of me.
I'm sorry, do you have to send to royalty? Is that how we do it? Do you have to become a little royal for me to be able to bargain with you like I did with the queen?
No, I'm just saying, it's a fact. You're gonna get tired of me. You will never be in my sight. I'm gonna love you so fucking hard when you come back.
Oh. Challenge accepted.
Oh, okay. I think that's
for everyone watching at home, Wes, who has been threatening to throw a chair if people didn't kiss, just turned on their camera holding a chair very threateningly.
Sorry, the forehead kiss wasn't enough, Wes.
We got the rest of the show. We got to like stretch it out. It's the finale.
Come on. Gotta get the right meet cute moment. And I think that's actually a good place to end with them being like, oh, that's how it's gonna be.
Mhm.
And it just goes fades to black. You don't know what happened. No, nobody knows what happens in that room after. Again, not in my Christian Minecraft server.
Do either of you think you generated a die?
And not really, because I didn't really make a bargain. I challenged, but I didn't. So no.
I didn't have a problem either. And I think like their relationship is still the same. They're just finally honest with each other.
Okay.
Finally, it took a little bit.
Yeah, it took a month.
Oop.
It's fine. Cool. So no dice generated and no dice shifted. And I think that is all of us who have framed a scene. So now we will roll the dice. We have 5.
Scared.
Yep. It's probably gonna be fine. We have 5, 10, 15, 16 community dice. I have 16 dice here, and then Rook has 3 alienation dice. Lorna has 5 alienation dice. Rowan has 1. Jackal has 4. Anya has 1. It's not. It'll probably be fine. Go ahead and roll those dice. It's very hard to roll 16 dice, in case anyone was curious. Did anybody roll a 6? Really?
My highest was a 4.
Wow. The highest I rolled was a 5, but we have
Yeah.
2 6s in the community dice. Oh my goodness. The odds were not really against us, but they were pretty close. But we have managed to once again roll a success. So, community success, decide as a group. How was this challenge? Undoubtedly a success. How is still there more work for us to do? I am curious, since this is Rowan's plans that are coming to fruition, what you think this looks like.
I think this looks like the first successful vocal protest the underworld has ever had. I think that Rook starts up with the music, and Rowan has a stirring speech, and at the end of it, everyone who gathers, which is surprisingly a lot of people, gathers up and marches down the streets of Hadestown to the front of the palace. And I don't think it goes much of anywhere just yet. I think this is more about letting people know that we are all here and we are all together. And now that we have been able to do this, we can make a change. So I think there's steps still to be taken in terms of actually getting demands on the ground and actually improving conditions. But I also think this is a seed of hope.
Yeah. There's more work to be done, but we're closer than we've ever been. Cool. I love that. I also think, just to also throw it in there, that as a result of this, the next problem we face is going to have a lot more hindrances to it, because now Rook has become a very public figure because of this concert, and what's the word I'm looking for? Dissident behavior is probably going to be monitored closely.
Were we gonna try to get Rook out in the distraction of that? Was that the plan, to where like that would be the exact next thing, or are we doing like a few days skip?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So
Did you?
you're
Yeah,
saying,
because so that I thought the plan was big distraction and then Rook goes, but it sounded like maybe it's like a few days have passed, or no?
no, we can do that. Sorry, I think I misunderstood the plan, but we could totally frame scenes in this moment now that we know it's a success. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I like that. Sorry, that's my bad.
No, you're good. I wanted to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding, so you're fine.
Nah. Cool. So that will be our next problem. Before we end this problem, remove any dice that rolled a 1 from the community pool. I have some bad news on that. We have 4 dice that rolled a 1. So
It had to happen at some point.
yeah. So that takes us down to 12 community dice. Cool. So before we go into trying to get Rook out of here, we will take a short break. So go ahead, stretch your legs, get some water, and we will be back soon with the end of the Riot Starts.
See what's inside.
Hi everyone.
Can they hear you?
I'm
Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Riot Starts. We were having a lot of fun during the break, obviously.
just sing along.
Just a little sing along, just a little Drake and Josh sing along. Great. Hi, we're back. Moving into the next problem, which is taking place during the quote unquote fallout of the previous problem, which is getting Rook out of here during the riot. So who has an idea for a scene to frame around that first? I have a couple ideas, but I don't think any of them are first scene ideas.
Do we want to just, I don't know, it's the finale. Do we want to just take a moment that doesn't count as a scene and we all describe what like we were doing in the riot? Like,
yeah,
go to where our characters would be just to set context.
I like that.
Yeah. So we should probably start with Rowan then.
Rowan is finding the best way he can to lead the vanguard. Everyone's riled up, everyone's, starting to move, and they move from wherever Rook is, which is where they've been standing up until now, and they push through the crowd, still yelling, still trying to keep everyone's attention on them, and start walking with the crowd towards the palace.
Yeah, and Rook is waiting to get a cue a little bit from Rowan. From all you can tell though, there is just instrumental, but there's no lyrics or anything going on. It's just something completely different. Like it just sounds like regular music that's just supporting however the mood is going that Rook is doing. Rook is matching that for however Rowan's going. And they've read the speech already. So they're just kind of matching the gusto.
I think Lorna might be, and Anya can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Anya might be doing something else, which I could be wrong, but I think Lorna is at the amplifier that's being used to broadcast Rook out, making sure that nothing goes wrong or gets disconnected, but also B, making sure that people who are trying to stop what's happening can't get near it until it's time to cut and run.
Yeah, I think you see Anya there with Lorna like a little further away, kind of pushing people off. And I think like there's a certain point when things like really turn that Anya's like full like crowbar out, like going in on it, just somehow full revolutionary in this moment.
Hell yeah.
Surprise, surprise, Jackal is an instigating bitch. They're keeping like either guards or forces, what have you, like either bothered or corralled in a certain area, just going all out and lending themselves to the violence. Positively, but they're enjoying the chaos.
Hell yeah. I love this. This is great. This is perfect. So in that case, I think I think I'll frame a scene first, actually, considering all of that. I think there is a moment where with Lorna, it's probably all of them except for Rowan, because Rowan is marching towards the palace. Or maybe all of them except for Rowan and Jackal, because Jackal's off fighting people. But Lorna, Anya, and Rook are all in the vicinity of each other. And Lorna is guarding this broadcasting or amplifying equipment, and I think she hears Clotho in her head. And the voice of Clotho just kind of whispers, "It's time. The chips are down. Whatever you're going to do, do it." And Lorna looks at the others and says, I think we need to go. I think we need to start. We need to cut it, and we need to go.
Okay.
Yep.
I think she shouts it. I'm not going to shout, but she shouts it out loud because there's a riot happening.
Okay.
And she starts pulling wires, and I think I like the idea that her and Anya worked out a way to disassemble this thing so that it can't be disassemble it in a way that people who don't know what they're looking at can't try to put it together again to use for their own purposes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because this isn't something that is frequently used down here, I think. Not in this way, anyway, not on this scale. It's something that Anya has come up with. It is something that Anya has built herself. And it would be a very bad tool for the oppressors to get their hands on.
I think in that moment when we were putting it together and Lorna suggested this idea of like something so we can put it back together instead of just like destroying it, Anya would have like turned away and cried. And then like 2 tears go down. She takes a deep breath and she turns back around and she's like, okay, hand me that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So,
but
Lorna,
then cut back to like blocking eye contact while you like pull it.
Yeah. Lorna's pulling wires, being careful not to get any of them crossed. And I think as she's doing it, she looks over at Rook in a very yearning manner.
Rook is definitely catching the eye contact back and giving it all back. Like, they're also like, God, it's time soon. It's time soon. I still got a concert, but it's time soon. Oh my God, this is happening. That's what's going through their head. Like, they're supplying the background music, but there's no mic or anything for their voice. So they're just like trying to like concentrate on that.
Mhm.
But they very much are like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening.
And I think with Anya keeping people back with a crowbar.
Anya's like making a path to where we need to go, like, and not even like beating people down, just pushing them with like this sort of like middle-aged woman authority.
I think Lorna manages to get it disassembled pretty quickly. God, they probably practiced it too to make sure it was really fast. But I think she manages to get it apart really quickly and stuff it in like a bag they had stolen. And we'll start trying to follow Anya and gesturing for Rook to leave the stage and follow them to the locomotive.
Yeah, I think Anya is specifically cutting a path to Jackal, wherever Jackal is in the crowd, and then going from there.
I missed that last bit. What happened? I'm sorry.
Oh, Anya's like cutting with the crowbar or like to get a path to you through the crowd to Jackal.
All right, yeah, and they're meeting. Now I'm like Anya, who's like corralling people like a shepherd's crook with the crowbar. Nah, it's like the
No.
lantern in people's faces. Oh no, your jaw! It's broken.
No, did your jaw wake a little? Was that a quack?
I hope you have dental, and just like wow, just meeting them in the middle.
Cool. And since there is a very short time frame that all of this is happening in, I think my framing of that scene can end there, if that makes sense, and someone else can pick it up as the setting shifts over into the middle of the riot. So before we move on with that or jump over to Rowan, whatever happens next, does anyone think they generated a die or shifted a die during that moment?
Does a crowbar count as a creative solution?
I
I
think
would
for
would
Anya,
say-
I think for Anya it does.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if it's an alienation dice because she's trying to protect her own machine, or if it's a community dice because she's attacking the oppressors.
I think you should listen to your heart and put it wherever you think it should be.
No, I'm gonna put it community dice.
Perfect. So who would like to pick up from there?
Do we want to, Rowan, do you have thoughts for a scene? Do you want to cut to you since
Yeah, I
we
was
didn't
gonna
have you in that
say-
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Rowan right now is attempting to sort of funnel people towards the palace. And in doing so, they kind of realize that they're going to get swept away from everyone. So he turns back and like makes eye contact with everyone as best he can through the crowd. And you hear him sort of faintly over all of the yelling and stomping that has kicked up. I don't know if I'll be able to get back to you before you go, but Rook, this couldn't have happened because if you weren't here. Thank you.
Rook looks at them, realizing, oh, they said the name. Good. It's fine. But they make eye
Does it
contact.
really matter at this point? Is
No,
what
it
Rowan's
doesn't.
Thinking.
No, it doesn't. But Rook's still like, oh no. Internally, Rook looks over to Rowan, smiles, gives thumbs up, heart sign, and basically yells back, I'll do it again. And, rushes like, you didn't see me.
Yeah.
And waves, bye.
Everyone else, get them out of here. I'll try to come back, but if I don't, you've got this. And they're going to turn around and head straight for the palace.
I think you are able to push your way through the riot. And when you are able to get up to the palace, I think you see the doors being I think you see foremen who were probably guarding the palace
Mhm.
now clashing with rioters. So the people who would have normally been standing in front of the doors, not letting people in unless they were expected or for any other reason someone might be allowed in. You see that the path is clear because of the riot you have started.
Rowan pushes to the front, manages to shoulder their way through sort of the front line, and swings up onto the fences so that they have a bit of a better view and so that everyone can see him. And just calls out, "Let them know they cannot stop us if we are all together." And then swings down and tries to sidle along the fence to try to circle back. Because this has started now, and there's not really a reason for him to be here anymore. It'll carry on its own. So Rowan is making his way back towards the loading area, I suppose, as fast as they can. And I think that's my little piece there.
Okay. I thought you were about to try to go fight Hades. I'm not gonna lie. I was ready for it. But
I mean, that would have been
makes more
interesting,
sense.
but that would have been very interesting. But no, I don't think we're quite there right now.
Cool. Cool. So jumping back to the other, or I'm sorry, do you think you generated a die with that? I think
we're on.
I think
yes.
you did. Yeah. Cool. Do you think it was an alienation die or a community die?
Definitely a community die. I'll put that in there.
Cool. Perfect. Okay. Now jumping back to the other group, who wants to set us up for this next part of getting Rook out?
I think we clear a path and we get to like the part of the locomotive that we have to adjust. And Anya like hands the crowbar. She doesn't need to hand it, she could just drop it, but she hands the crowbar to whoever's closest behind her just out of habit. That's what she does with her tools. And hands it off to Lorna probably.
Yeah, Lorna grabs it.
Yeah, just like that, like routine. And starts getting to work, sort of pulling it apart. If you look, these screws are not necessary, so they're like important, but like it won't break. So if something else breaks and you need to move these around, you can, fix that. It'll be a couple days that you have to be on this thing, and I hope it can hold.
Yeah. No, I look, it's better than on foot. That I don't want. This is so much easier than walking all the way back up. So yeah,
Good.
no, I can hold it.
Good. Are we ready to start?
I mean, we could sit here and think about it, I think. Sarcasm, absolute 100% sarcasm. Let's go, please.
Okay, yeah, and then Anya loads, I think, the three of you up on it, and takes the crowbar back from Lorna and is basically sorry. And just looks at Jackal and then at Lorna and just says, we don't need to say goodbye right away. You can make it a little ways out, I think. And then make whatever decisions you make way out there, way out there. And she'll kiss Lorna on the cheek, and then she goes back into the riot and is fighting her way back up to Rowan.
Dang.
Right.
Dang. All right.
Spanish Inquisition, did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Whew.
Cool. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine.
This is totally fine.
That sounds like the ending for the framing of that scene. So did anyone generate a die or have a die shift in that moment?
My die is shifting. I have one die and I'm shifting it.
Hell
It's going
yeah.
to the community pool.
Hell yeah.
You deserve it.
I love that. Cool. So I believe that's Jackal and Rook, which is perfect because it sounds like we're all going for a short ride at least.
Let's go, gang.
Oh, joy. Love good shirts.
Whichever one of you wants to start narrating the beginning of this, I guess.
I kind of want the end scene.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
fair.
gonna say.
I
think
feel
it's
like
fitting that you-
narratively that makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
So as the engine starts and the pistons start going and movement begins, as they creak away from the violence, Jackal is so conflicted, and it's weird to see them quiet, contemplating, thinking. Like, the aloof mask is just peeled off to this calculating stonework. I don't know. It's just like, it's just very dark, and even though they should be spending this time, these last moments with Rook, they're at a loss, essentially.
I think Lorna, as it goes down the tracks, is staring back at where I think her eyes watch Anya running off towards Rowan until her and the rest of the riot starts to fade away in the distance as they get further and further away. And Lorna turns back to look at Rook and at Jackal and says, I think she looks at Jackal and says, I took your advice. I said I didn't think I was gonna be leaving.
I swear I didn't plan this.
Neither did I.
I didn't expect Anya to do what she did.
He's sneaky.
A little more than I'd like. Look, I'll tell you now. As soon as we smell the surface, I'm off of this, and I'll just walk back.
Long way down.
Yeah. We all know that.
Well, you won't be alone. Like I said, I can't. There's nothing. I don't belong up there anymore. And I can do more down here. Thanks to you. Thanks to Rowan. I made my choices. I'm just gonna I can make the best of it. Or try to, at least.
Yeah. I know. I don't like admitting that, but I know. But
Finally.
shut up. And they say that kind of like quietly, but it's in a loving way.
Mhm.
And Rook grabs both of their hands, squeezes them. Thank you, both of you.
Look, don't get sappy now. The
Go
last
on.
thing I want to see out of you is just disgusting, longing bullshit. They can't even get it out without this smirk.
Okay. I mean it though. Thank you, seriously. I shouldn't have come down. Stupid. But
It was a nice surprise visit.
If you hadn't come down, I would still be just nothing. I'd still be nothing. I'd still be quiet, keeping my head low, not making any waves. So I'm really glad you were here.
I don't think you would have stayed nothing. You have Rowan around you. Come on. I think you would have heard some of those words at some point if they were able to, even without me, make their wave for everyone. I think it would have clicked. You wouldn't have stayed nothing. And this asshole looks over at Jackal. Would love to start a fight at any fucking point. So, like, again, I don't think either of you would have been nothing. It would have worked out one way or the other. I just kind of have that shit starter thing about me sometimes too.
Escalating things as usual. We get it.
Yeah.
I think Lorna squeezes their hand and says, maybe, but now it's happened sooner. And now I have something. She like pauses and she says, I was going to say I have something to look forward to, but that sounds kind of bad.
No, that's the truth.
I mean,
obviously I hope it's a while before we see you again for obvious reasons, but I'm you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying to say.
you don't want me to die yet, but when I do, it'll be a great surprise.
Yes. Exactly.
Hopefully the jukebox doesn't change too much.
I'll make sure it doesn't.
Yeah. And I think that's a good place to stop unless any of you guys have an idea.
I just had one more
Go
thing
for it.
to say real quick. Just in response to what Rook said, I think Lorna adds, who knows, maybe by the time you get back here, Rowan's going to be in charge.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
That's it. That's all I had.
Good.
Cool. Does anyone think they generated a die? Does anyone think they shifted a die? I do. I think Lorna's relationship with Jackal has shifted since their last conversation.
I'll throw a die there, sure.
And I think it is for the benefit of the community, so I will get rid of one of my alienation dice and add it back to the community pool.
Same.
Go ahead and remove your alienation die, and I'll put it in the community dice. So we're
I
at
appreciate it.
17 there. Yeah. Rook, how about you? Do you think the die shifted?
I don't know. I mean,
I think they stay the same.
yeah.
Their relationship is up there. Like it's
No.
beyond this.
That was a valid answer.
You can get any higher.
Yeah. We're at we're at peak romance.
All of the hearts are filled. You can't do anything more until you start bringing ambrosia.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Perfect.
Cool. Then with that, what's this final scene look like, Rook?
Final scene is when they finally make it to the surface. Like when they're at that point where they could walk forward with them or they could walk backwards. It's at a point where they're all kind of at a good stopping point.
Okay.
And they just take a moment to, get out and of the, machine and step out and just take a seat on the ground. They don't want to completely lose the moment. And for Rook, just taking the seat, taking the breather before the big thing happens is kind of their way of centering themselves quite literally. So that went almost seamlessly. Anya's a freaking genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's got to congratulate her on the way back.
Seriously.
I'm sure she'll like hearing it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're able to save it from any fallout.
If there is any. I'm pretty sure they flipped it around at this point.
Yeah. I think Lorna just like lets out a really quiet sigh.
It feels weird. It's here. It's literally right there. I didn't think we'd make it this far, honestly.
Don't say that, you're gonna jinx it.
So much for faith in us.
Look, I believed in it, but I don't
Of course you did.
trust.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust something to not happen. But it didn't happen. We got really lucky.
Yeah.
We'll watch you the rest of the way.
Okay.
She like looks at Jackal.
Jackal just sighs and they don't necessarily sit, but it's like either squat or like kneel next to her. Hey, you want to know something funny? So, you know how straightforward I can be. Of course, with all the dastardly shit I've been up to and how I always like to get away with things as a kid, Jackal just came natural as a name. Trickster, what have you. But you know what I didn't know?
What?
And they hook an arm around Rook. Now there's this like side species of jackal known as golden jackals. And what makes them so special is that they mate for life. So I'm telling you, we're gonna make it this death because I think that's funny. I'm gonna be here. And promise me you don't cheat. You stay fair so they don't kick your ass when you come down here. Okay?
Okay. And they kiss him.
Of course.
And Lauren is the only one that gets to see this.
Lorna thinking Anya's gonna be so mad that she missed it.
Somewhere in the riot, a dude takes an extra hard hit with the crowbar, but he doesn't know why.
Absolutely. But yeah, they go in and they go and kiss Jackal after they say that.
Mhm. I just said play fair. You stole a kiss. Fuck you. Forget everything I said.
No,
I made that up.
no, you
have
didn't.
somebody else to
That's
say
the
goodbye
most
to.
bullshit.
They're shoving Rook away.
That's the most sentimental shit you've ever said in your entire life, and I know it because I've known you your entire life. But that's the last thing. Then I'll be good as I can be. I won't make my sentence worse than it probably already is anyway.
Well, you have another goodbye to say. They get up, straighten themselves up as if that never happened, because they have a face to keep down there.
And Rook stands up like they didn't just bring them down into a kiss. And just like, oh, stretch, like, all in a day's work.
I think Lorna was laughing by the end of that, but then like as Jackal starts to get up and go away, she starts to stop and looks a little more serious. And she realizes it's time to say goodbye too. So this is it?
Yeah.
For now.
For now. I know I'm always coming back, but I promise it won't be anytime too soon. I think it's unfair to everyone, really, if I arrived quite literally right back. Because y'all did so much to get me out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, don't waste it.
I won't.
And I think she grabs Rook's hands and squeezes tight and says, "Can you do me a favor while you're up there?"
Yeah, anything.
I have a sister. I think she's still up there anyway. I don't remember her name or what she looks like, but if you happen to find her somehow, can you just tell her I'm sorry for leaving her behind?
Yeah, I'm sure she looks something very similar to you. And it won't be hard to, it will not be hard to miss.
She blushes and says, "Thanks."
I got you. And they squeeze their hand again.
Lorna leans in to kiss Rook.
Rook kisses back. A little longer than the first kiss that they gave at the lake too, by the way.
Yeah. After a moment, she'll break away very reluctantly and squeezes their hands again and says, until we see you again, I guess.
Yeah. Till then. And Rook brings both of them into a group hug. like as their faces buried between both of them, Rook says, "Take care of each other. For me, please."
I promise.
Yeah, I will.
and they squeeze just a little bit tighter than they expect to, that they realize him pull back. All right. Well, Jackal, if I come back and I have that CD with me, you're listening to it.
CD.
Yeah, he named it after you.
She blushes again. What's it called?
I'm workshopping it.
It was some sort of pink euphemism. I'll tell you all about it on the way down.
Okay. Kind of squints at Rook and Jackal both and decides not to ask further details.
Oh, do it till you're ready. And with that, Rook waves, blows each of them a kiss, and walks forward to the surface as he meets Persephone right there.
Cool. And
That's where we're
that's
gonna
where
end
we're
it.
gonna have to roll
Yeah.
dice. But before we do that, did either of us generate a die or shift a die?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think we're rolling them as they are.
Mhm.
Cool. This is gonna be fine. I'm very nervous.
Me too.
I'm very scared. All right, so we have 5, 10, 15, 17 community dice. A Rook has 3 alienation dice. Lorna has 4. Rowan has 1. Jackal has 4. This is fine. Don't even worry about it. Everyone roll your dice and
Actually, I have 3.
I don't know.
So because you took one for the pool,
Oh.
right?
Yes. Sorry, I
Okay.
didn't delete yours. I only added 1. So yeah, you should have 3.
I don't like that face, Jackal. I don't like the face. I don't know, like the face you made when you rolled.
I'm feeling it too, Mr. Krabs.
I'm so scared.
Yeah, I'm terrified now.
What's the TikTok sound? Shut up. Shut up. I'm so fucking scared right now.
Yes.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is never
I'm
good.
so scared.
I'm in
Did we get-
danger.
Uh-oh.
Zoe.
Zoe, no.
Zoe.
Yeah. So I rolled 1 6 with the community dice. And 2 6s with the my alienation dice.
I rolled a 6.
Cool.
1 6 over here
Cool.
too.
Oh, we didn't stand a chance. Oh,
Fate,
it had to
Fate
break
was
that
not
eventually.
gonna let us get away with that many successes.
No.
Oh.
What's her name? What's Atropos? Yeah,
Atropos.
Atropos. Atropos fucking came in with a vengeance. Oh my god.
Yeah, and she's
She
just
really
like,
said,
oh, that's
"Snap."
it. That's
Ooh, okay. Wow, okay. So,
Mhm.
dang. Decide as a group. How is this challenge undoubtedly a failure? How is there, despite that, a glimmer of hope for the future?
Okay, I feel like we have 1 or 2 options.
Okay, roll.
Either, yeah, they both suck. Either the riot failed, or Rook got into some not so great with Persephone at the surface.
I was
Anya,
thinking
you
both
look
of
like you
those
have
options.
an idea.
Hmm?
You look like you were about to say something.
My thought was Persephone makes Rook stay, but she's carrying her favorite flowers. Which is like the hope. But then it depends what we want to count as the challenge, the escaping or...
Yeah, she could just kill him. Just kill them. And they're just
She's
back
got a
to-
gun.
What do you have? A gun? No.
I'm glad you're all here. Anyways, I have a gun. God. Okay. So, in fairness to the fiction, the challenge was getting Rook out in the middle of the chaos.
Okay.
And while it is a bummer that we have failed in this, it is also very fitting for a game based on Hadestown to come so very, 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 very close and miss it at the end. So I think it is Persephone catching them at the last moment with the flowers. I think she has the flowers with her.
Mhm.
But Rook isn't able to leave.
You know what they say? It's a sad song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sad
Yeah.
song.
It's a sad tale.
It's a tragedy. It really fucking is. It really is.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Cool.
Ouch.
Cool.
All
cool,
right.
cool.
Sure.
How is there, despite that, a glimmer of hope for the future? I think it's in what Rachel said. I think it's in the flowers. Persephone's keeping Rook here, but I don't
She's
think...
doing her own rebellion by bringing the flowers too.
Yeah. She's also felt that spark, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we were successful on the roll to start a riot.
The riot.
Right.
The
worked.
riot's happening. The riot worked. Change is happening. We didn't get
Mhm.
Rook out, but that doesn't mean Rook is stuck here forever.
Yeah, I might just be, Hades punching bag for a little bit of time, and who knows? And
Yeah.
I honestly think that Persephone doesn't want to bring Rook back, but she knows she has to.
Yeah.
Because this whole time she fucking knew.
Mhm.
And if we rolled good, then she would have let them go.
Mhm.
But because we rolled bad, she's just like, I hate to fucking do this, but I'm going to be in so much trouble because I decided to fall in love with the king of hell. So I'm sorry, you gotta go. That's kind of how I see the situation going down, because she sees part of herself in Rook,
Yeah.
but she knows she's too afraid of her husband.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think that's exactly how it goes. Dang. Okay. Any character who has alienation dice that are equal to the number used to resolve the challenge or higher chooses to either take some kind of power or advantage for themselves in a way that makes narrative sense and put one community die into the alienation pool, keep the dice as they are, and lose a bit of hope, confidence, and or feelings of camaraderie in the cause. I think instead of doing that, because the dice don't matter, this was the last challenge, this is the last episode, I think in lieu of that, knowing what we know, Rook wasn't able to get out, but the riot happened, rebellion is here. I think we should go around and do an epilogue for our characters, a little tag at the end where they are in the what's happening to them in the immediate future, in the further future. You can go as close to now or as far away from now as you want, but just a little epilogue, a little tag to close things out.
I think Anya has the moment where Lorna and Jack will come back whenever she sees them, either after the fighting is done or when they join the fighting. But like has like a knowing look to both of them. And then like however long later when Rook shows up, she just questions them like, so you weren't caught because of the machine, like very concerned that the point of failure was not her machine. And then following works closer with Rowan to advance other causes and constructs eventually like public transit that can be used off work hours. It's for moving people, not supplies, like way down the line. That's what she's doing, is she's like running that whole thing.
Rowan takes their time with the movement they've started, because he knows that if he rushes this now, it's going to cause problems, because this is really the start of things. So as they end up in meetings and being looked to for leadership and advice, they settle for kind of the first time you've ever seen them settle. And they start to he knows he'll never lead like the underground as a whole, but they want to be a voice for as many people as he can. And that's what they focus on.
I think Lorna I think at first, within the coming days of being thwarted at the very end, it almost seems like Lorna is retreating back into herself, into the way she used to be. But after some time has passed, she starts to it becomes clear that it was less of a withdrawal and more processing what had happened, processing what went wrong, and dealing with that the way she needs to deal with it. And then I think she throws herself into helping Rowan the way she promised them she would last time. I think she throws herself into that. I think she throws herself into trying to figure out another way to get Rook back out. Something different, a different plan, something that will hopefully work this time. But yeah, I think I think the passion that she had been developing just like increases by a bunch.
As for Jackal, they hold up their promise and kind of lords over Lorna, making sure she's okay, checking in, being a little doting. And once they realize that, like you had said, that she's processing and not secluding herself, they subtract and give her a wider berth. Meanwhile, they're back to scheming, being their own jovial trickery selves. So just a little more scheming, more maneuvering for Rowan's sake.
I think with Rook, at least where you find them in the end is Hades has kept a close eye on them. And in a way has gotten to know Hades a little bit more now, but in their Rook type of way. And Rook looks over to Hades. It's just like, so you're keeping me here. You know I shouldn't be here. But you're doing it for her, aren't you?
Who's to say that I'm doing it for anyone?
We're all doing something for someone.
Not me.
Yeah? Really?
I like a ploy as much as the next person.
Much longer.
Until it stops being funny.
Want to bet on it?
I don't see why not.
And we're gonna end it there.
Perfect. And with that, the Riot Starts comes to an end. But it's not really the end. Revolution is never really over. There is always more work to do, especially with how things ended there, and there is always still hope for the future. So why don't we all go around again and remind the people who you are, where they can find you, and anything you have coming up.
Hi, I'm Rachel. You can find me online at Ms. Petty Dreadful. You can find me playing games over on Table Goth. We're currently recording our Vampire the Masquerade game. So again, just stay tuned to the Table Goth socials to see when that season comes out.
Well, howdy do, y'all. I'm Ben at VenVoxVA, the voice actor who does little tabletop things like here. And tomorrow, starting over at Ladies, Thirsty Sort Lesbians at 8 o'clock, and I'm super excited. I'm super thirsty. And yeah, I think that's a great way to end that.
Hey everyone, I'm Raven Kennedy, and I have been Rowan Chandler. You can find me on most socials at Scott Blackbird. You can also find me occasionally controlling the We Are Games social media and working on various things over at that development side. I mean, you'll probably know when things start happening if you decide to follow us, but that's your choice, isn't it?
Hi everybody, I'm Elliot, and I've been Rook, which has been a great experience. I knew this character was gonna punch me in the fucking gut. I knew it as soon as I made them. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do it again, aren't we? And my brain went, yes, we are. And it's been great. Where you can find me next is on Weave the Tale on tomorrow night at, I believe, 8 o'clock for Blue Rose. We have a bunch of really freaking awesome people. I cannot wait to play with. I can't wait to play with all of them, but one of them, if you've probably seen me play with a few times, so it's going to be good seeing that energy back. But I'm really excited about that, and Then I am on, I believe, Sir Hooper's channel. I forgot his thing. So check my social media at Chaos Them, and I'll have an update. But I will be playing Vampire the Masquerade on Monday. So that is going to be a bunch fun. Actually, I think it's the Lost Caravan. That's the Twitch channel. So again, just keep your eye on my socials at Chaos Them or Chaos Elliot, and I will give everyone an update when that is.
And I am Zoe. I've been Lorna. You can find me at Twillick43 on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias. You can find me on Carrying Comfort Studios on the Discord, which you should absolutely join. It's a very good time. We have a lot of fun there. You can find me generally here on some streams. You can find me over on Martlake Games with some stuff coming up. My favorite little Hakata Flesh Eater Vampire is going to be coming back and paying for some very brazen actions she made recently. So that's going to be fun. Love a serial killer vampire. Don't even worry about it. Cool. Yeah. So sorry, I'm processing emotions and also trying to do my facilitator job. And let me tell you, it is tricky. Hey, we have sponsors. Callow Energy is a game-focused plant-based supplements company that we have partnered with. I use it all the time. I use Q Focus and Q Sleep to help me focus and sleep. Go figure. It works really, really great. We also have Dice Envy. If you're ever looking to grab some dice to fill your coffers, and consider using our referral link in the chat and in our About section to grab a very special site from Dice Envy just for you and others. You can use code COMFORT at checkout and get 10% off of your order. We also have 1985 Games just started sponsoring us. They're the creators of Dungeon Craft, an affordable way to upgrade campaigns from hand-drawn maps to stunning visual worlds. Unlike many terrain solutions on the market, Dungeon Craft is priced to allow any gamer to upgrade their campaign with over 1,000 cutout pieces. Again, link is in the chat and in the About section. Use code COMFORT at checkout for 10% off. They're all great sponsors. They all make great products, and we love them. You can subscribe to the Patreon. There's a lot of great new stuff coming, like I said before, now that the rebrand rollout has happened. We can finally talk a little bit more about it. A lot of additional content is coming to the Patreon that you will all love. You can buy our merch at thirsttrapmothman.threadless.com with a lot of great shirts for your favorite shows like Kingdom Hearts Interstitial War and Comfort Sickle. You can subscribe to the YouTube where all of our videos live forever for free, and you can watch them at any time and it won't ruin your algorithm. And that, I believe, is it. I know there's no Kingdom Hearts Interstitial War tomorrow. I think Wes is playing video games tomorrow. Yeah, Wes is playing video games tomorrow, so you should all watch that. And then, hey, next Thursday, we won't be here, but it's the big premiere. No? Is that not next Thursday? Yeah, it's next Thursday. Next Thursday is the big premiere of Yaziba's Bed and Breakfast. I couldn't remember the name for it for a hot second. But yeah, it's going to be great. It is something that is currently being funded. It is actively being funded now, and it's not even actually out yet. But it's by Jay Dragon, who's great. I have no idea what Wes is mouthing at me in the video, but we're all very, very excited. It's going to be great. So yeah, you can come back here. We sadly won't be here next Thursday, but they will be, and it's going to be a great show. So you should definitely check that out. And that is all. And with that, we will say our goodbyes. Thank you so much for watching this game.